Well, good morning and welcome to OneHome. OneHome is the latest evolution of the Matrix client portal, as you're seeing here. It is available to your clients by invitation only, and I'm going to mention that. You probably don't realize it, but your existing clients, you have already, if you've ever emailed them listings from Matrix, you've already invited them. So what the invitation only means is that they can't just go out there on their own, go to onehome.com and create their own account. They need someone like you that has keys to the gateway matrix, the access to all the listings there, and you send them listings there. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. And my name is Keith Hensley with CoreLogic, and I'm coming to you this morning from Grand Rapids, Michigan, just a couple hours from you, 2.5 hours or so from you there. And as of this morning, it is now live. So the old client portal is now gone, and now your clients are looking at the new client portal called OneHome. And I'm going to introduce to you what it is. So before today, what you as the agent used is Matrix. And what your client uses, because they don't have access to Matrix, they have the client portal that looked something like this on the right-hand side. But as of today, you still use Matrix. So nothing has changed in Matrix. That's one of the things I want to reassure everyone on this call today, that you're not going to have to learn anything new in Matrix. Your workflow remains exactly the same. You do your searches, you send emails, you just work the same. There is very little change though, because of the new OneHome portal. There's new capabilities and functions and tools that your clients can do. So there is a little change when we look at our contacts, that you'll be able to see a little bit different stuff that we never had before. So there is a very little change in there, and I will show you that. But for all intents and purposes, nothing has changed in regards to your workflow in Matrix. Okay, so what has changed is the client portal. Instead of seeing the one in the background here, they are now, your clients will be using a new portal called OneHome portal. And the main reason why we changed this is because we want to help you as the realtor. When you send listings to your clients, in the past, they would see the client portal, but we didn't have enough tools and data on there to keep them on your client portal for them. And 9 times out of 10, your clients might have just taken that address or MLS number and went out to one of those other national sites. And we all know who those companies are, to find out more details, more information, more tools to, and by doing that, it kind of became dangerous for you, because they might stumble across the listing, reach out to that listing agent on that property, and now all of a sudden you're out of the transaction, and now they're working with another realtor. Well, we don't want that, and you don't want that. So OneHome is now hopefully keeping them or give them more ability so that they'll stay on your portal, because what you're going to see in here is more data, more tools than they ever had before on their past client portal. And that's what I want to show you today, okay? And if your clients had ever saved any notes or listings from their past portal, everything's transferred over to this new portal. We have done all the heavy lifting and shifting for you and for your clients. So that way, you don't have to resend out emails that you'd already sent to them. You don't have to resave any searches. They're already there. Nothing's changed. And all your notes, your clients, all the notes that they saved or listings they saved as a favorite or possibility will be transferred into the new portal, or any properties they've rejected from the past will already be there too, okay? So like I said, there's nothing different that you or your clients need to do. It's just yesterday when you emailed them listings, it took them to their previous portal. And today when they open up that same email that you had sent them in the past, or a new email that you send them today, either way, it'll take them to the new portal. And they'll see the same properties, the same listings, the same notes, same everything that they've seen before, okay? Also, one of the things we've done, let me, well, I'll keep it here. How do your clients see their OneHome portal? Remember I said it's by invitation only? Well, what do? You do the same thing you always done. You just email them listings from Matrix, whether it's part of an auto email that you have saved and it automatically sends them new and updated listings, or you just go and send them, a manual email. Just find properties, check mark them, and email them. Either way, that's how you invite them. Same way you always have done before. So nothing has changed. Where can they view these emails? Well, they do the same thing they've always done. Whether they're on a desktop computer, a laptop, a Mac, a tablet, or an Apple device, such as an iPad or an iPhone, or an Android cell phone or device. So they do the same thing like they've always done. Now, one other enhancement to this OneHome portal over the previous client portal is that it is now more mobile friendly, or what we call a responsive design. The OneHome, the client portal, will respond according to the device that they're on. So if they're on a big computer, they'll see a bigger client portal. But do you know that the stats show that most of the time, in fact, it's about 70–75% of the time, your clients are using either an iPhone or an Android cell phone to answer or open those emails. So even though the previous client portal was mobile friendly, OneHome client portal will be even more mobile friendly for your clients. And since I'm not on a cell phone doing this presentation this morning, I do have a screenshot here of how it looks when your client opens it up and they're on their iPhone or they're on an Android cell phone. So on the left is how it looks when your client opens it on their iPhone, and on the right is how it looks like when they log in on an Android cell phone. Okay, and I'll kind of show you this when I log in live, and we don't have, this is about the last presentation screen I've got here. So believe me, we're going to jump in live. But here's a little tip that you can maybe provide to your clients. OneHome, there is not an app for it, because remember I said it's by invitation only. And if there was an app in the App Store or the Google Play Store, anyone and everyone could download it to their cell phone. Well, it's not an app, so the only way they can get there is by you emailing them listings. But here's a little trick. Instead of having your clients keep going back on their cell phones to look for that email that you sent them and then opening up OneHome, I want to show you a little shortcut your clients can bookmark or save on their home screen. When they open it up on an iPhone, do you see this little round circle of this box with an arrow pointing up? And on the Android phone, they have the 3 dots up here, way up here. So whether your client is using an iPhone or an Android, once they open up that email that takes them to OneHome, they can create an icon on their homepage that will kind of look like an app. Well, if they hit that button or those 3 dots there, it opens up another screen, and both screens has an option for your client to add it to their home screen. So that way, if they hit add to home screen, it'll probably prompt them to give it a name, and they can call it whatever they want, OneHome or My Portal or whatever. And then they'll have a little icon wherever they put it on their cell phone. That way, they don't have to keep going back to their email, opening up that email anytime and every time they want to look on their cell phone at whatever you have for them, waiting for them on their portal. Does that make sense? So that's a little tip and trick that you can share with your clients. And if you ever forget this, you can always reply to me in that email that you're going to get from me here in about an hour, and I can step you through it again. But hopefully your clients know how to do that too. But I do this all the time, not just for OneHome, but all kinds of websites I find on my cell phone that I don't want to have to go digging for again and again. I just use those little options there and add it to my home screen. So that's a little free tip there that I'll throw in, that you can use this on any website if you want to save it on your cell phone, okay? But that's a good tip for your client. So let's go and get started. I'm going to close down this PowerPoint presentation. and I want to log into your matrix system. So I'm in your Norris MLS matrix system here. And before I do go any further, I do want to introduce you, if you haven't seen this yet, a matrix learning lab right up here. We have this matrix learning lab that I will come back to at the end of this webinar and kind of utilize and play with here. So we have all kinds of training videos and brochures and stuff like that for you for Matrix or OneHome. So to learn more about Matrix or OneHome, you can use this learning lab here. It's kind of like under your name and go to help. It's kind of like the help section, but a lot of people never really saw the help section because it was kind of buried under up here. So we got this new learning lab right here, front and center on your homepage. Okay. Well, in order for me to demo OneHome for you, what I need to do, I need to email some listings to a client of mine. So once you're in Matrix, you do the same exact thing you always do. You just, do a search, put in some criteria, and I have some basic criteria here. I found some listings in Sylvania that are single family between 2 and 250 with 3 or more bedrooms, and I found 16 matches here. So I'm just going to run a search here. I found those 16 listings. I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to email it to a client of mine, actually a friend of mine, Ray, and his wife, Patricia. And I'm going to copy me on this also. So as you can see, so far, nothing has changed on your end. You do exactly the same things you have always done. I'm going to put a little subject matter in here. I'm going to call this email Sylvania 2 to 250, 3+ beds. I like to name my searches this way because you're going to see in a moment the client will see the same thing. And every time I email them, if I keep saying emails, new emails for you or something generic, they won't remember what this is because they're going to be able to see every email I've ever sent them on their portal, just like the previous client portal did. So I like to name something in the subject line a little unique, so that way they'll remember what this email was about, or what that email was about, or what this email was about. It's kind of named, if you will, just like my searches are. Now you can type in your own message here, and in fact I encourage you to type in your own message. Now for me, I'm going to leave it blank on purpose, 1, to save us time, and 2, if you do leave it blank by accident, we'll automatically put a little generic message in there for you if you leave it blank. But like I said, I would just type something in there. And then down here at the bottom, you can see we'll put your email signature in here that I already have done, and I'm just going to send it. Okay, this email was just sent to my friend Ray and his wife Patricia. They both have an email address. So if you don't mind, we need to take off our realtor hat and put on our client hat, because this is now what Ray and Patricia see. In fact, I logged in to Ray's email, and this is an email that Ray got from me, his realtor, and there's the subject line of this. When Ray clicks on this, he sees this new OneHome template. It's a nice looking, professional looking template that says OneHome. And because I left the message blank, he sees my generic message that OneHome puts there. I found some properties that might be of interest. Let me know if you have any questions. Then it says click on the following link to view listings. So Ray gets this and he can click there and it'll take him to his new portal. And he sees my email signature. Now, remember I copied myself? I did a blind carbon copy. So let me show you what you get, or what the realtor gets. So this is what I get, or you get, when you copy yourself. You get the same thing that he sees, except you have the option of view listings just like he does. So when you click that, you see exactly what he sees. But because you're the realtor, what you get to do, you get another option here, view listings in Matrix. If you click this, and even if you're on your cell phone, it'll take you to those listings, and I think it was 16 of them. You will see those 16 listings in Matrix, and inside of Matrix, you get to see more information, such as the listing agent's name and phone number, and much more information than what the client sees. So because you're the agent, you get two. You can either see exactly what the client sees, or you can view it in matrix, whether you're on the cell phone or on a desktop like I am today. Okay, so you get the same things, but you have actually two ways of logging in. Okay, so now Ray gets this, and he clicks on that link. And remember, this email also went to his wife, Patricia. So if Patricia checks her email, she could see the same thing. So when Ray clicks this, it takes him to his new OneHome client portal. And here it is. Right up here is the email name, Sylvania 200. That's the subject line that I put in there. And like I said, I put it in there. And you're going to see in a moment that he's going to be able to see any and all emails I've ever sent them in the past. Okay. Right now, he's just looking at the one I just sent him. Here's those 16 listings, all down here. And by the way, if they scroll down, just like a lot of systems, there is a help tab down here to help them. And just to let you know, those national sites, when your clients go to those national real estate sites providers for listings, they don't have a tab there that walks them through and tells them how to do this, just by the way. So, and believe me, because I've used some of those national sites, because in Grand Rapids, we don't have matrix. So I can't look for listings in my own area that I live in, so I'm kind of left to use those other national sites. So it kind of lets me know exactly how those work, and I can compare it to OneHome. And I wish we had OneHome, because I'd much rather use that than those other sites. So that's kind of encouraging, if you don't mind. But look at this here. Okay, here's the map that they get, and if they log in on your cell phone, it'll look something like this here. Let me kind of squeeze this down. Okay, because I want to kind of show you how responsive OneHome is. Once they get it, as the screen gets bigger and bigger, watch the top here. See, now there's tabs up here, and as they get bigger and bigger, it's going to split the screen. Now they got the sidebar with the thumbnails and the map here. So it's responsive. It responds to the size of the screen that they're on. I will mention this activated account in just a moment here. Okay, I know a lot of you are saying, what's that mean and stuff. So I'll address that. But as your client opens this up on their cell phone, they see the map here, and what they can do right next to that magnifying glass, they have a little hamburger. And if they open that hamburger, it just toggles between the map view or a thumbnail view. So your client will decide which view they want, and whichever one they leave it on, it'll stay on that view on that device unless they clear their cache or cookies on it. It'll remember the way they like it. So every time they get emails from you, it'll default to this view here, okay? And they can just use their finger and scroll up, and they can even click on one of these properties to see more details here. And remember, this is how it looks on their cell phone. So there's a lot of stuff here, and I'll go through it, okay? I'll go through it here in a minute, but here's all the stuff that they get to see, okay? If they switch it back to the map view, as they see these properties, if they click on any one of those, because there's 3 properties there, there's 4 there, there's 3 there, and of course there's 1 or so here. But as they click on them, they see the little preview down below if they leave it on this view. Or if they click here, it just zooms in. Now they're looking at those 3 properties. They can zoom back out if they want. And now if they click on it, they see them. And if they click on it here, it takes them to full view. So it's very, I would have to strongly say this is very user-friendly, much more than what the previous client portal is. So it's very, very nice. And they still get the mapping tools, zooming in, even Google Street View right here, they can pull over on their cell phone and drop Google Street View guy. I think they call him Pegman. And right there on their cell phone, they can see the street view of the properties, even drive up and down, okay? But let's make this bigger. And even if they log in on a computer, they can still turn the map off and look at the properties this way, okay? And see them here, or they can turn it back on and see it this way. And remember, I'm still looking at the 3 properties. You know why? Because I'm only seeing 3 on the map. So if they zoom out on this, so if Ray or Patricia zooms out, It's going to refresh and pull in more and more properties here. See, now they're seeing 12 properties because they're zooming out. So it's always very reflective of what they're showing on the map. Over here, you see what they have here, okay? Something they never had before are points of interest and boundaries, okay? And look at the boundaries they get. Some of this, they might need to zoom in, such as parcel, but if they turn on zip code boundaries and hit apply, now they're gonna see the zip code boundary lines. They go up the boundaries, and if they do what it says here, zoom in more, because we even show them flood zones and parcel boundaries. So they might need to zoom in a little bit on some of this stuff. So if they zoom in, now if I turn on, or if they turn on parcels and or flood zones, hit apply, now they can see the flood zones and the parcel boundary lines. See the parcel boundary lines there? Okay, I think this is some good information. One more attraction to keep them from going out to one of those other national sites, because we're giving them more and more information here. So now they can see all kinds of data here that will hopefully keep them on your site and away from those national sites there. So I'm going to go and turn off flood zones and zip code. I will leave the boundaries on though. Okay. So now as they zoom in here, let me show you points of interest, because OneHome is very lifestyle driven. So people want to live close to where there's stuff that fits their lifestyle. So if Ray and Patricia are interested in food and dining places and maybe shopping, hit apply, and now they're going to see all the local store or restaurants and shopping places nearby here, okay? They can just click on this and see what is near to where they potentially might buy a house in. So that's points of interest. I'm gonna clear this out down here. And then there's boundaries there, which I think is pretty cool there too. So if they zoom in a little bit more, over here on the left, they can hit this little map and change it from the road map that you're currently seeing, and they can switch it to a satellite or a hybrid view. Hybrid view just gets the boundaries on there along with the street names, but also the parcel boundary lines there too. But now they can see the map and see it a little better. See how many trees are there. Here's that peg man. So there they can just drag this over, and if available in a neighborhood, they can click on it right here. And now they can see it. There's the roundabout there. Okay. So some cool stuff. And then right up here is the back button. It takes them right back out. And I'm going to switch it back to the road map here. In fact, I'm going to zoom out a little bit more here. Well, probably a lot more here. Let's do that. Okay. So that's what they got. They got all kinds of mapping capability here. They can even do their own searching here. But I do want to talk about this activate account. This is something they never had to do in the previous system. And for full disclosure here, when I first saw this activated account, I was like, oh, great. They have to create an account, or they have to, log in and stuff. Well, first of all, no, they don't. They don't have to. They're seeing a lot of information here, and I haven't even activated their account yet. And they do not have to. I think they should, and I think you should encourage them, because by activating an account, the only thing they can't do unless they activate an account is to save things as favorites, okay? And they cannot reject things either, and they cannot leave notes. And the reason why we do that, do you realize in your previous portal, if I email this to Ray and Patricia and they left notes, and I left notes for them, and back and forth, we were leaving each other notes. Do you know what would happen if Ray or Patricia sent that email forward that email, any email that I sent to them, to any friends or family members? Do you know those people that they forwarded to could see everything that I left and every note that they left? It was not private or personal, because it was never password protected. Well, once I started realizing that, I was like, wow, that's pretty scary. So all Ray and Patricia or your clients need to do when they hit activate account, all they need to do is create a password. That's it. We already know their email address because you've been emailing them listings. So we already know that. We do not sell that information anywhere. We're not allowed to sell that information anywhere. They will not get spam email from OneHome. If we wanted to do that, we already have their email address. So, and by the way, we're not allowed to do that. So you can reassure your clients that when they activate their account, they're just password protecting. That's it. Okay, they create their own password. I don't know it. They're the ones who activates it there. And when they do, their login, if their login would be their email address, and I think they know what their email address is. So that's all they have to do. We're not going to sell them things. We're not going to put them on the spam list there. So that's all they're going to do. And by doing that, now it creates a secure link between me and them. And if they ever did forward that email to someone else, that someone else can't see their notes. They can play around just like I'm doing here, but they can't see anything note-wise, favorites, possibilities, or my notes or their notes there. Okay. Plus, they're going to get a lot more capability, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. So I'm still going to show you this without activating an account. Okay, and then I will show you what happens if they do activate an account. So when you send this to your clients, and if they click on any of these properties, and they click on the picture here or click on any of these pictures over here, just like I showed you on the cell phone, they're going to see much more information here. They're going to see the name, the MLS number. If there was an open house, they would see the open house date and time right here. If they scroll down, they'll see the status, they'll see the listing price, but they get this extra tool that they never had before. It's a calculator. Okay, it breaks down their monthly costs. Right now, this property is showing $1,431 a month. But they can click, even without activating their account, a breakdown of monthly cost, and now they can play with these numbers here. If they go into their mortgage and interest, they can change the down payment or increase the percentage of down payment to a little higher. And if they did that, it knocks down their monthly cost because they're putting bigger down payment. They can look at or change the mortgage term. They can look at the interest rate here and change it to maybe 4.0. And by doing that, that changes the down payment. They can include mortgage insurance, property taxes here. They can play with those numbers, which do get populated from the listing. Okay. Home insurance. They can play with those figures. HOA fees, if this listing had any, it would put it in here, but they can say, well, maybe there is. We found out that there is an HOA, so they can put that in there. Or put in some utilities expenses here and play with those numbers and see. So those are something that they have ability on those other sites, but they can do that now here inside of OneHome. Now they cannot add a note because they have not activated their account, and they cannot request a tour. I will show you this in a moment, and I want to mention if they request a tour, all it is a note. So it's just like them going to a note and saying, hey, can I see this property? But the request a tour, we'll ask them, well, what day do you want to do this, and what's your time frame throughout the day to see it on that day? And it comes back to me, not the listing agent. Okay, so then I get the information, and then I can reach out to the listing agents to set up a time to go see it there. And do you know, if they were on a national site and they request a tour, that goes to the listing agent. So the last thing you want is for them to reach out directly to the listing agent. So this all keeps everything between me and them. Now, they still haven't activated their account, but you notice there's market insights. So if they click on view insights, we show them all kinds of insights based on this neighborhood. And this neighborhood that you're seeing here in the background that is shaded is either the zip code or the census tract. Okay, it's usually one or the other. And offhand, I'm not sure. I live in Grand Rapids and I'm from Dayton, Ohio, and I've been in Toledo many times, but I'm not really sure if that's a zip code or census tract, but it's one or the other, and it changes throughout the country. But if they scroll down, based on that neighborhood, they can see the market health score, which is based off the median sale price and the median list price. You can see how much properties are they owner occupied or renter occupied? So 76.9% are owner occupied. Scroll on down, they can see the median list price over the years, going all the way back to 2007. And they can see the median sale price here going all the way back to 2000. And you can see where, the market kind of took a dip and then now it's coming back up again here. Scroll on down, we show them demographics based on this neighborhood, the median age, the population, the median household income, unemployment rates. Scroll on down, we give them a breakdown of the demographics such as age, education, and marital status here, okay? So they know what type of market or neighborhood this property sits in. They scroll down, this property only has one photo here, but if they had a virtual tour link, it would be right here if the listing agent had one. Scroll on down, you see beds and baths and square feet, days on market. Overview, this is the remarks from the listing agent. Features, some basic features, but now we get in some more details of this listing. Property details, how many beds and baths, livable square feet, levels, interior highlights, basements, exterior details, all kinds of information. Now this information's all from the listing. Room details, as much as we can from the listing detail. Building details, utilities, construction, but that's not it. We show them other facts and features: listing price, directions, listing terms, possession, zoning, legal and financial details, schools, nearby schools. This is all from the listing here. But not only do we show them schools from the listing, but we show them the elementary schools, the middle schools, the high schools, and even private schools. And this information comes from the Department of Education. And the rating here out of 10 is coming from the standardized test results from the Department of Education. So they can see the elementary schools that are close to it, 2.21 miles away, the number of students, the number of student per teacher ratio. They can see the same thing on middle schools, same thing on high schools and private schools. Now, private schools doesn't have the rating here, but all the other ones do. Public record. Now here they can see the tax information. It comes from Realist. So if they click on this, now they're seeing Realist tax data that they can see. Again, encouraging them not to go somewhere else, but to stay right here on your client portal. Scroll on down, they would see any open houses coming up. And someone asked, why are we showing this here? Well, they can get this other places, okay? They can go out to those other national sites and see open house dates and stuff. So we want to keep them here. We want to keep them on your site there. Favorite. Now, they cannot save it as favorite or not for me because they have not activated their account yet. Scroll on down more. They can see boundaries and interests like I just showed you. Scroll down even more, a walk score, a bike score, a transit score, if there's enough information here, okay, to provide them. So it looks like it is a pretty nice walkable neighborhood, but there's not enough information for a bike or transit score there. Here's the price history. I've seen this go back many years on the price, and tax history, the last 3 years there. And as soon as we get the update from the county, we'll update it to 2020 and show the last 3 years there. So we're just waiting on the county to update it. Similar homes. Here's the other ones I sent them. So if they didn't like the one they're looking at, here's some of the other ones that were included in that list there. Okay. Now, let me show you if they did activate their account. Now, I don't want to take the time there, so let me log in as another friend of mine, Steve and Rosa. They've already activated their account. Up here, it doesn't say activated account anymore because they just did. So now you can see that Steve got an email, and even Rosa has an email. Rosa can activate her account too, and her login would be her email address. His login would be his email address, or they can just use the same one. It doesn't matter. And one of the benefits to them activating their account, let's say Steve and Rosa go out of town, they're on vacation, and for whatever reason, they don't have access to their emails, and they're at their aunt's house down in Florida, and they have a computer. So they jump on their aunt's computer and they go to OneHome.com. Do you know that Steve and Rosa could just hit sign in, type in their email address, and when they get in, they're seeing their OneHome. Okay, so they may not have it bookmarked on their aunt's computer. Well, any computer, they can just go to OneHome.com and log in if they activate their account. Okay, so once they activate their account, they can see I'm their agent, and they both have access to it. So I can do stuff, they can do stuff, Rosa can do stuff. We also give them this thing called a property fit preference, okay? When they activate their account, we prompt them to answer 7 questions. They don't have to, they can skip or say no thanks or whatever. But if they go through this little property fit preference, which by the way, Steve has already done, he's already answered those stuff there. So let me hit change here to show you what it does. If they want to go through this property fit preference, they answer 7 questions. They can skip any of them that they don't want to do or change it later. They just go and click on whatever they like. It just kind of gathers information from them, helps get more information than I've been searching for them inside of Matrix. It does not change my search criteria, okay? What it does, when they answer those 7 questions, there's one more thing it does after those 7 questions. So let me go back into property fit. Once they answer those 7 questions, we then ask them their top features. So here, what are their top 3 interior features? So they pick, or they can skip it. Now their 3 exterior features. And what this does, it becomes like a weight, a balance, a scale. And what it does, it'll help weigh each property I send them or that they find themselves. It'll help scale it and see which ones rise above the others by a percentage here based off these questions here. So now that they pick their 3 interior features that they like, 3 exterior features, and by the way, Steve can have his own and Rosa can have her own if they want to. So then they say, well, the ensuite master bathroom is most important. Next would be, oh, I forgot I did waterfront. Fenced in yard next because they have dogs. Fireplace, yeah, they love it, but that might be down on the list. Parking, well, depends. Steve might move parking up higher, but Rosa might move laundry up more on her scale. So they just pick this, they say next. And now what they're gonna have this thing over here called a property fit score right here. It's like that, it's that weight, that scale that balances out. It does not change my search criteria that I sent them, okay? Here's the search that I sent them. All it does, it kind of weighs it and sees how much this compares to so what they said they like. So now instead of looking way down here at a low number, they might be more interested in one of these other ones because it fits more of their needs that what they told us to, that they wanted. And you notice I even sorted it by this fit score. They can even rate it by the price, lowest, highest, newest, or the fit score. And by them activating their account, now they can see the search that I've done for them. They've done their own search right here. They're looking in investment properties in Bowling Green, which I didn't realize until they saved their own search. And they can do more searches, do as many searches that they want right here and save them. scroll on down, these listing sets, these are all emails I've sent them in the past. That's why I think it's a good idea to label them strategically so we know the difference between each email. Because right now it looks like I've sent them the same email. Well, that was a little bit different there. And you can even email them public records, you know, from Matrix. Instead of listings, you can send them, I sent them some Wood County foreclosures right here. So they can even look at those there. So all kinds of information. Now they can save them. Now they can reject them. Now if they reject them or not for you, they won't see them anymore on this list here. However, they can still see them under the favorites tab, which is right up here. So now if they do this, now they can go to favorites and see all their 9 favorite properties, or the 7 that they've rejected. So they can still see those 7 there. It's just not on this main page back here under OneHome. And if they go here, this properties is the main page right there. Or they can click on OneHome, get back to the main page. But as mentioned, they can do their own search right here or over here. And if they do their own search, they just type in their own criteria, buy or rent, home property types. Let's just say they're looking for houses to buy in a price range of 150 to 200,000. Bedrooms, they want at least 3 bedrooms or more. Notice how they can move this map around. They can even come over here and draw their own shape if they want. They can even go to more and type in more and more criteria, and type in their own keyword search right here. And once they do this, they could save it right here by giving it a name. We throw in a generic name, but they can come in here and say, this is Rosa's investment search, okay, and save it. I can see this. Once they save things, I can see what they save. Now, when they click on a property, they can see more details. Now they can save it. Now they can add a note, but now they can request a tour. They can click on request a tour, and this is a note, but it's kind of like a little templated note where they can go in and type in their dates here. Wow, I can't believe today's the last day of March. Okay, they go in and say they want to see it tomorrow. 01 and then 2021. And they're available at 9, 3 to 6, and 6 to 9. Just they have an appointment at between 12 and noon. So now they, oh, would help if I typed in the right date there. Request a tour. Okay, this became a note. Now it became a note right here. So now you can see that on this, they've already left the notes to me, and it's from Steve because I'm under Steve's login, Steve's account. Now, where do I see that? Well, if I go into Matrix, this little thing right here shows that Steve and Rosa visited their portal and they left me a note right here. So if I click on this, I can see that notes on Villa Drive, and I can see that they requested a tour. Do you know I can also get a text message of this note? Do you know that was an ability with Matrix that you've had for the longest time, that I can get a text message or an email ASAP when they leave a note? I don't have to log in to see this note. If you didn't know how to do that, I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. But now that I see this note, now I can reach out to the listing agent, and let's say I set up a time. Steve, we are set to see this listing at, let's say 4 p.m. So I respond to his note, just like it worked in the previous portal. Both of us can leave notes, and we both can see these notes. So now when he goes back to his OneHome portal, oh, I'm on the wrong one. Let's go back here. Now when he goes back to his OneHome portal, he sees this little bell up here at the top right next to his name with a little icon, just like we see when we get a text message or a voice message on our cell phones. There's that little badge saying there's something new. So when he opens this up, he can see the new added comments right here. If he clicks on this, or Rosa clicks on it, he can see, okay, here's the note I left. Well, here's the note I left him. Now, I don't think this is the best way to respond to Steve or Rosa. I think I'd pick up the phone and call them and say, Steve, Rosa, we're set to see this note here, or see this property at 4 p.m. And coming soon, somewhere down the line here, very soon, text messaging to them also. Okay, that's not there yet, but right now, I get text messages of notes, but pretty soon we can have them get text messages of listings or notes. So that's coming down the line here, and we'll be sure to mention that when that comment or when that tool, that functionality becomes available, but it's not available yet there, okay? So they get all this stuff. They even get a planner that will help guide them through either the buying side or the selling side of the transaction. And if they're in a buying mode, they can go through and look at these different categories here, and they can complete some tasks. Now, when it opens up, it just kind of educates them a little bit there, but that's where they can start the conversation with you or with me, because maybe they don't understand some of this stuff. They can go through and collect it and mark it as complete, or they can even say it doesn't apply to me, and go through all these different tasks here, and just helps guide them through. But another tool that keeps them on your portal, and I can see what they've, how far they've come through here, and I can help answer some questions too. So it's a tool for them, but it can get me involved too to help guide them through this process. Okay. Now we're almost done here, but up here at the top, when I go into Matrix, I can go to contacts, and now I can go to Steve and Rosa, and now I can see their planner. I can see how far along the buying mode they've been and how far along the selling mode they've been in. That I can even switch it and look at it in a list view, so I can see exactly which ones they've done or not done yet. Okay, I can't do it for them, but I can at least see how far they've gotten through if I want to use this, or if they have questions on it. Over on the right is that property fit score. I can't do that property fit score for them, but I can see what Rosa has said or what Steve has said that they're looking for. So this is another conversation starter that maybe I didn't realize they were looking for a fireplace or waterfront property. Maybe that's something that never came up in our discussion there. So it's just another item we can discuss and talk about. Does not change my search criteria whatsoever, but it could. I mean, I could go back and start searching for stuff that they're looking for. Here's their recent activity, all the stuff they've done recently, okay? OneHome searches. I can see now what Rosa's investment search was, and I can see what this investment property was. I can see the auto emails right here that I've set up for them. Here's that Perrysburg search I did for them. And watch this. I can, open it up in OneHome to see exactly what it looks like their OneHome portal is. This is exactly what they're seeing. Now I'm seeing it in an agent preview mode, okay? So it kind of shows it to me the same way that they're seeing it. But watch this. If I open up that search, or if I ever do any searches for them, and let me run the results of that search. Just like before, we always would show you when you've emailed these properties to them. I don't know if you knew that, but we always showed you that. And we always showed you if they saved it as a favorite or rejected it. We've always showed you that. But something new we show you. We show you the property fit score for your client. So here's the property fit scores for Steve. Here's the property fit score for Rosa's property fit, if they fill that out and if they activate their account. We show you the fit scores, okay? So it doesn't affect these houses. I still send it to them. It's still part of their search criteria, but now it's that scale that kind of weighs it and says which one's heavier. This one's heavier, so that means it meets their criteria a little bit more than this one down here. They can still might like this house better and buy it, but we're just kind of guiding them a little bit more based on what they said. And there's that note that they left there, okay? Alrighty. So they can see all this information. Now, there is something you need to work on. And remember that handout? There's two handouts on your Go to Webinar sidebar. Well, the one is called What is OneHome? And if you take a look at this handout, this is that brochure I told you about that you can use, maybe give to your clients to say, hey, look, you work with me, I got this great site called OneHome, and I think you'll love it. But I also created this other one called Q&A for OneHome. And this is what it looks like. This is something you can save to your computer. You can send it to your clients if you like. These are two videos right here. One's 15.5 minutes, one's 3.5 minutes. But watch them, but send to your clients too if you like. Getting started with OneHome. This is a website that you can send them to also. Here's some questions for you or them to help answer concerning this OneHome portal that we have. But number one is a to-do item for you. This is something what you need to do first. You need, and you can do this now, do this today because OneHome is live. You need to go into your settings, which is in the top right inside of Matrix under hello and your name, and then click on my information. Okay, so let me show you. You need to go into Matrix, and under your name where it says hello and your name, you need to go to settings. Under settings, and by the way, remember you can get text messages from your clients when they leave notes. It's found under portal notification settings. So if you've never used portal notification settings, set this up. Okay, I think everyone should set that up. That's there. But this is where I want to leave you at. You need to go to My Information tab. And we have a new tab up here called OneHome. This is for your branding. This is where you can put your photo, and I don't like my photo, so I did my wedding photo last summer because my wife makes me look better. Actually, in comparison, I look worse, so maybe I should just go back to myself there. If you don't like your photo, I think you should at least put your company logo here. Okay, I think you should have something here. And I'll show you why in a second. And then fill this profile out, make sure everything looks good. You can even put a video link here. I even found this one things to do in Toledo. Okay, and I'll show you where that shows that. Going back to the portal, down here in the bottom right is where your photo shows, and that's why I think you should at least have a company logo there. They're going to see your name and title, your phone numbers, email address, and then they can even click on this View Agent Profile. And if they do that, that's where that photo or that video shows. This is my picture and information, my contact name and email address, and they can see all my contact information here. You're going to probably have a lot more than I have here, but make sure your contact stuff looks good because you need you want it to look good when your clients go there. Okay. And last but not least, here on the home page, this Learning Lab. If you haven't used it yet, please do when you log in. What it's going to do, actually, I need to sign in here real quick. I have this all over the country here. Actually, I think I'm using one of my other email addresses here. Right here, yeah. Okay, I jump around from all over the country to different sites. That's why I have this here. But now you've got a learning lab where you can learn Matrix stuff or OneHome stuff. We have marketing tools for you, a course library, events, and if you click on events in here, we have the future webinars coming up here. There's the virtual summit right there. I'm going to put the video to it right here. Here's your other webinars coming up here in the future that you can sign up for. But under marketing materials, we have all kinds of brochures, videos that you can look at and learn, even handouts that you can give your clients, and even email templates that you can open up and take those email templates and send it to your clients to introduce them to OneHome, and even social media templates. So all that's under the Matrix Learning Lab. Okay. All right, well, thanks everyone. I appreciate your time today. We went exactly 1 hour. I wanted it to be a few minutes shorter, but I didn't want to leave you hanging on anything. I wanted to make sure I give you as much information as possible. And remember, this is recorded, so about an hour from now, you'll get an email from me with the link to it, so you can watch it again. Or over here, we have more training, OneHome webinars right here. So you can sign up for another webinar coming up tomorrow or next Tuesday there. Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone for your time today, and reply to my email that you'll get from me in an hour if you have questions, or contact your MLS. Sharon and Lori are excellent, and they will be sure to answer any questions you have also, or you can reach out to me. All right. Well, thanks everyone. I appreciate your time today, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.